Hey everyone. I just had, well, mainly a story to tell. I'm bored and I've got nothing better to do. I'm watching a neighbor's dog for a while. Cutest little dog. I tend to not like little dogs, but he's pretty cute. Anyway, has anyone ever seen read, I meant, that manga that's the villain's ending is death? I'm pretty sure it's called something else as well. The names of all of these keep changing, um, depending on who's translating them. Anyway, I have a story very similar to that. So after my question with a higher power, there's I'll go about it. There's like a story that continues it. And the story starts out um, with, how would you say it? A douchey? Dukery? I don't know how you would say it, but it's a duke's household, and he's got two sons and a daughter. Now, this is all when the kids are still little. The daughter goes missing, and instead of grieving for her loss or looking for her, they decide that they're just going to go to the emperor and tell him, "Hey, our daughter's gone." So, yeah. And then maybe about a year after the daughter goes missing, they adopt another child off of the streets who looks similar to her. And she gets treated like crap. The brothers think that she's there to replace their sister. The maids, because of the way the brothers are treating her, treat her like crap as well. The dad, on the other hand, is never there to pay any attention to her, and the butler doesn't like her much either. Just treats her kind of like a guest who doesn't deserve privacy. So I guess more like a prisoner than anything else. She gets beaten by the maids, constantly threatened to she's constantly threatened about losing her life. Her brothers mainly are constantly threatening her with her own life. So much so that she starts running away every day. The second she wakes up, jumps out the window, climbs down the balcony, runs into the village, and sometimes she'll run to the Duke's Knights training area and she'll train with the Knights or just hang with them. Um, this story continues on until she's about 18, and then she dies from poisoning. Um, one of the maids very close to her poisons her and gets away with it. No one says anything. No one has even noticed that she is dead except for the maid that poisoned her. Well, we get God, it is very hard to explain a story that has been happening in my dreams. Anyway, much like the villain's ending is death, someone gets reincarnated into the Duchess's body, which would happen to be me. No fun, by the way. Being a Duchess is not fun. Anyway, they call her Duchess because the Emperor is very fond of her. Unlike, well, with the original daughter, he wanted to marry her to the second prince because he doesn't think anyone deserves his first son, the crown prince. He's hmm, he's kind of self-sufficient and all that. Anyway, um, the emperor is very, very fond of his first son, not so much with his second son, mainly because he loves the crown prince's mother, who passed away, and he still holds feelings for her. Well, when the emperor heard that they had adopted another child, a daughter, he was kind of interested and sent people to watch her and see what she does. Um, because, most people, when they adopt a child into a higher power family, they either go crazy with power or they're just beaten and abused and do nothing about it. Just sit there and take it. Me, on the other hand, not so much. Because I know I'm in a different world and I can't go back to my original body and I can practically get away with anything, I'm not too concerned about it. So, go and train with the knights, continue doing the original routine. I have all of her memories. She never talked much. I changed that very quickly. Fired the maid and was just, going about my business, disguising myself, going into town, not too concerned about anything. And I got dust all over my freaking computer, and every time I clean it, it just gets worse. Anyway, it's the story starts when I enter her body and take over her life. And the first major thing that happens is me firing the maid that the brothers like. No, it's not like a romantic interest. It's just she's been there long enough that they're really fond of her. She knows how to get things done for them. But the first thing I do is fire that maid and then go straight to the Duke and tell him that I've just fired a maid and I don't want her anywhere in the house. So he agrees and she's fired and the brothers are pissed. So the first major thing that happens is after I go back to my room and the Duke leaves to do whatever, the younger brother, what was his name? Can't remember the brother's name. Yeah, I can't remember his name. Um, the younger brother ends up storming into my room and pointing his sword and swinging it everywhere and screaming at the top of his lungs, then points the sword to me. Well, instead of just sitting there frozen and just waiting for him to get mad enough to stab me, I back up and jump out the window and Down the balcony I go, because that's an escape route I've had. And the Duke, who was headed outside and to get to the carriage so that he can go and finish his business or whatever, go and talk to the Emperor, sees me climbing down the balcony and sees the second brother trying to attack me. He gets pissed off, starts yelling, and comes over and grabs me and takes me with him. This is when I get to meet the Emperor. Now, most people, when reincarnated, just, they enjoy the wealth. I don't know why I was reincarnated as a duchess, but whatever. Anyway, this was the first time I got to meet the Emperor. Didn't really have to say anything. Just said that it was nice to see him and go elsewhere. Just kind of did my own thing, just went elsewhere in my head while they sat there and talked about whatever. And at this point, I'm like 18, and a war breaks out with another kingdom. So, what I decide to do is go. I don't know why that was something I decided to do, because that does not seem like something I would ever do. I mean, no one wants to join a war. That's, yeah, it's messy and dirty and probably smells. But anyway, I decided to join. I'm gone for an entire year before I come back. When I come back, the first thing that happens is the Emperor greets me coming back into the Empire. And he has both his sons and the second son's mother with him, as well as the Duke and his kids. Well, his two sons, because I'm one of his kids. Anyway, um, I can't entirely remember what happened, but I know that the Emperor wanted me to stay in the palace for a while. I'm guessing he wanted to get to know me or something. So I ended up staying there and getting to know the princes, the empress, and the emperor, and all of the people around them. That's as far as I've gotten in the dream so far. So that's about where this story stops. Anyway, lately I've still been playing my game. Excuse me. I forgot these things were crunchy like that. I've still been playing Evermerge. Now, I gotta say, the only thing I don't like about this is that you only have two dwarves to help you with all of the mining and cutting down of trees and stuff like that. You only have the two. And at one point, when you first start playing, at some point it gives you a third one. And then you get these little red dwarves that can build buildings really fast, but you don't get to keep them. Red dwarves have a bar above their heads that depletes every time you use them to build something. The third dwarf is only there for a limited time. I believe it was 3 days that you have extra helping hands, and it it's the only thing I don't like about it is that you don't get to keep them. Not unless you're willing to buy them, and even then, it's still limited to just the 2. Um, Buying an extra dwarf, crap is in the way. Yeah, need more hands, hire an extra gnome worker for 7 days. So you get another gnome worker for about a week. And that's actually gonna cost you $7, which to me is not worth it. $1 a day. Yeah, to me, that's not worth it at all. And that's not gonna help me with anything that I need. Now, a lot of things are needed in this game, the extra hands being one of them, but you don't get the extra hands. Um, Farming is a pain. You always have to make sure you have enough room, which is hard to do when you have to merge everything. So it's kind of an impractical game. Let me see if I can get it. Okay, these little red axes, um, mining tools or whatever. Once you combine the 3 red ones, you get a red gnome worker who can build buildings really fast, and again, only lasts a certain amount of time, depending if the building takes up to an hour to build, or I believe it was anywhere between 30 minutes and an hour to build, he uses up his full bar, which is stupid because then you're sitting there waiting for the remainder of the time for the building to finish, which takes forever. And the buildings you have to get built. Let me see if I can get it to show up clearly. Okay, these little buildings, these bluish purplish ones, plus these little blue ones, are all built from bricks, little white bricks that you can mine from the mining areas. And then you have the wood houses, which go into this. Okay, once you get the mining houses to a certain point, they go onto this little thing. And I'm guessing it's going to build like a bigger building. But uh, this one is kind of hidden behind some wheat. Let me move that. Okay. The regular houses go onto a platform similar to the last one, and they build this big area that you can the more houses you build and the bigger the buildings are, you move into this and the more stars you get. Now, I'm not entirely sure. It just says collect and then it spits out eggs. And you'll have to go to your other thing to get them, to your other island where all the animals are to get the eggs and all that. So it's a really fun game, but kind of impractical with all the crap that you have to do and not enough hands to do all the crap they want you to do. So I guess it's more of a pain in the ass than anything. But anyway, um, it's the same as any of the other merge games. You can merge 3 or 5. If you do 5, you get 2 buildings, which makes no sense why they do that. I mean, you get extra bonus points, yeah, but you're only 1 building away from 6. Why the hell just 5? Like, what's so special about 5? Anyway, it's a really fun game. I really enjoy it. I also have other games that I enjoy playing. For some reason, Pokemon Go is not working for me, so I'm just leaving that one be for a while. But Lily's Garden, I'm actually thinking about getting rid of that one because I don't even play it. It's I started playing it and I got to a certain part in the story, and you don't get very many options to decorate this garden, home, or anything like that. You get 3 options for everything. It's not very customizable, and the puzzles are really boring. Um, Plus I have Merge Magic, which I've completed it already. I had no more quests. I had all the creatures and all that, but I still re-downloaded it anyway. And then Merge Dragons, which was another favorite of mine, although that one I have not played very much, so I may end up getting rid of that one as well. Evermerge, on the other hand, is still new to me because there's a lot of new things that you have to do. It's not just merge everything and be done. There's different islands, there's different events, different creatures that you can get from the events, different things that you can get from the events. You're learning recipes, you're mining, building houses and stuff like that, and you're trying to there's these pearls, and for the pearls keep going up to a certain level until you create, I'm guessing, a mermaid, and she will be another character that I will have to feed, which I find that really irritating that I have to keep feeding them. The other games don't do that, but I guess each game has to have their own quirk. You also have to feed your animals. I keep forgetting these things crunch. Anyway, you also have to feed animals, and once you have completed an animal, actually, let me see if I can show you. Now I got oats stuck in my teeth. Way to go. It was a smart idea to eat oats instead of making mozzarella sticks. So smart. Wait for the damn thing to load again. Every now and then it'll get frozen on like 89% and I have to turn it off and reload it, which is about the only thing that's extremely irritating about it. I still got oats stuck in my teeth. Come on. Okay. I really hate loading screens. Okay. Mystic Isle. Load again. Come on, come on, come on. It's boring having to wait. Anyway, some of them start out from eggs, some of them start out as little babies, and it's different for each and every one how much you have to merge. There we go. It's different for each one how many you have to merge. All of the owls, once they're completely finished, are about that big, are about that big, and they take up one full square. But Mhm. Where the strawberries are is the owl's pen, and that's where all your owls are supposed to go. Oh, and then up here, you can see I've got eggs and stuff like that, baby ponies and chameleons and phoenix egg, and I can't remember what that egg is. But once you get them up to a certain point, you unlock their habitat, and then you can move all of them over there. You also have a storage, so you don't have to keep them out. You don't have to keep them out in the open like I do. You have a storage down here where you can put all of them in. I have enough space. I don't see the point in doing that. And so far, I do not know anybody else who plays this game. I don't have any friends, but I have fun all on my own. So it's fine. And uh, it's a really fun game. Put that away so I stop eating them. It's a really fun game. It does kind of get annoying having to jump back and forth from island to island, plus the event islands and stuff like that. But it's fun how you're not just stuck in that one place or stuck doing puzzles to get more things for your original island. So you're not having to go out on an adventure or anything like that. It's different islands give you different things, and you do different things on them, which is really cool. Oh, yeah, I'm thinking about playing Subnautica again. Now, I have not gotten very far in it because I tend to lose interest in games very fast, and then I'll look at them and be like, "Oh, I haven't played that in a while. I wonder where I left off." And then I'll go and play it again and get really into it, and then it's kind of like long stretches of being interested and hating the whole world. So I started playing it, and I'm at the point where the sunbeam is coming, so I'm just sitting on the island waiting, and I stopped playing it at that point. I don't play the game like everybody else. I'm more or less not too concerned about actually getting off the island. I want to explore all of it. I want to explore this entire Subnautica world. Now, I do realize that there is a place called the Dead Zone that will spawn all sorts of crap to kill you if you try to go through it. I'm going to try to avoid that area, but I may just happen to go down there to see how scary it is for myself. Now, when Markiplier and Jack, Septiceye, and when Mark Sean and Neebs Gaming did it, they tend to get scared a lot. Neebs Gaming more or less makes it more funny, and they incorporate their own story into it because, well, they know that it wasn't complete. They did an early access, and their early access ran very well, unlike Sean's and Mark's. Um, I couldn't watch Mark playing it all the way through just because of his jotting around with the camera constantly. It gives me motion sickness. Sean, on the other hand, um, I watched it all the way through, and even at the end of the first one, I started crying with him. Just he just he brings life to everything, whether he's just goofing off or upset or trying to figure crap out or making mistakes or anything like that. It's just brings so much life to it. Um, I absolutely adore him. Only he wasn't taken. If only, if only. If only all the good ones weren't taken. It's always like that. Anyway, um, I am really fond of playing the game. I still don't know how they catch peepers. I have not been able to catch a peeper. Okay, lie. I caught one peeper and that was with the grav trap. That was it. I have not been able to catch another one since. Bladderfish galore and hoopfish and boomerang fish and Gary fish. I can get all those. When it comes to the damn peepers, I can't get them. So I am absolutely having fun playing the game just because I love being immersed in water. So I was out playing in the rain earlier, which is why my hair's a freaking mess. And some people like the gaming to go where you follow this, excuse me, where you follow the story to a T. I do not like doing that. I'm one of those people that would rather ignore the story and build things so that I can survive, and then when I get bored of that, then follow the story. Although I understand the story is part of the game. I don't like creative mode where you can just build things, gather materials, and build things and not have to worry about anything. To me, that is no fun. It's like The Sims. Once you have the cheats, the game's no fun anymore. Every now and then, I will use a cheat code or two on Sims, but it's usually just for money. That's it. Aside from that, everything else I work for. And it usually just depends on how many people I'm taking care of if I'll use the cheat or not. If it's just one person, I tend to use it so I don't have to get them to go to work. They can just goof around. Um, if they later have kids and the kids are going to school and blah, 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 I usually tend to bring someone else into the house, another adult. That way, someone's home and someone goes to work and back and forth. I make sure their hours don't just all in one and go. I try to keep it to where they get home just before the kids, and kids get home, and everyone goes about their own business and stuff like that. Anyway, I just wanted to fill you guys in on the story as it is happening. Um, so yeah, I finally got to see my world. Magic exists. Um, I actually found myself very pretty in the new world, so very happy about that. Um, it's interesting where it's going, but I'm kind of scared as to where it's going to lead. I know I'm going to have to make decisions as the story goes. It's kind of like pick your own path type thing. Will you go to the ball or will you secretly meet with blah blah blah? Like I know that I'm gonna get those kinds of routes, so I'm trying to think ahead as to what I would do if that actually happened. which is really weird because I'll wake up in the mornings and still feel completely exhausted because I feel like I've been awake the entire time. I used to do that when I was working at Emerald Ridge. I would go home and sleep and dream about being at frickin' work. And I would go back to work the next morning yelling at my boss and telling him he needs to start paying me overtime because it is unfair that I have to go to work even when I'm sleeping. But anyway, uh, I just wanted to fill you guys in on that. I am going to leave this stream here because my last few have been running on for like an hour or so because I just won't shut up. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off here and probably play a little Subnautica or read some more. Not entirely sure what I want to do yet. Maybe listen to some music. There is this really cool song that I am completely obsessed over, and it's called Monsters. Um, who is it by? I can't remember who is it by. Oh, Shinedown. And it is a really good song. I absolutely love it. But anyway, I'm probably going to go and listen to that and play a game afterwards. I will talk to you guys again at another time. I also have to find a way to get me a drinks. Um, so yeah, I hope you have a beautiful day, evening, afternoon, night, whatever time of the day it is for you. It is still only 11 something here, and I'm tired. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and head out, and I'll see you guys later.